Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the question goes first. Question goes first. They said load your PDACDS data. I think we've done that one yesterday. We all know how to do that, right? So for the people that were not here, this is how you load your data into Power BI. Just go to your Home tab, your Get Data ribbon. Then, so we're trying to load an Excel data into our Power BI. So all you need to do is just go to your Excel workbook, click on Excel workbook, then click on the data you're trying to work with. I'm trying to work with Power BI data. Then I click on Open. From there, I'm going to navigate to the sheets I'm trying to work on. So the sheet I'm trying to work on is PDA CDS data, which is this one. So you click on the box, then you load your data. So that's how you're going to load your data into your Power BI. So now, since we've loaded it yesterday, I'm going to open a new page, and now I'm going to be working with my PHCDS data. So it said create a column chart. You can open the question so that you can follow. So it said create a column chart showing file extension, date created, and size field. So a column chart. Who can tell me which one is a column chart here? I'm not planning to do everything for you guys so that you can learn. So who can tell me where which one is a column chart?
Fourth one from the left.
The fourth one. This right.
Yes.
Okay. I've clicked on it. So now I'm supposed to create a column chart showing the file extension. So then I click on file extension, then date created, and also the size field. So let me expand this. So you can see that it's looking weird, but then just leave it like that. Then the third question says change the default formatting of the date created to show months and year. How do you do that? You come right here where you selected your date created. So you just X out your quarter and your day. So I can only see the year and the month. Do you understand? So if you want to see your from this particular visualization, you can see both your your size and your year and month. So for if you want to see the size and month and year, this is the page you're going to go for. So if you want to see the file extension, all you need to do is drill down to the next level. So you see your size. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Does anybody understand what I'm doing? If you're with me, please speak up.
Yes, everything, man.
Yeah. So this page, so you're basically showing two visualization inside one. So if you want to see the next level, just click on this drill down, then you drill to the next level. So here we only have the year versus the file extension and file size. But then if you want to go back and you want to see everything on one page, If you want to go back and see only file extension and some of size, so you have the size versus the file extension. Do you understand? This is sum of size versus the year alone. Then you have sum of size versus the month alone. So this is the drill should I explain drill down that I explained last before we ended the class yesterday. So in case you don't understand, please let me know. I'm still going to go through it again. Then so the next question says change the font size of the visualization. I think we all know that. All you need to do is go to while still clicking inside your visualization, go to this format pane. Then you can start changing your font size from, let's say this is the x-axis. You want to change the font size of the x-axis. You can increase the font size by just clicking on this. Change the font size here, just like Word. Your Word, just let's say you want to use this Tahoma or something. Then you can change the color of your text. Also, we have a title here, sum of size by month. You can always increase the font as well. And also, you can go to the y-axis. This is your y-axis. You can do the same thing by increasing the font size, changing it to the same one you used for your x-axis. Then you can also, for your title, which is this one, sum of size, you can also increase the font size. Then for your, let me see the next question. Change the header background. This is your header, right? So I said if you want to change anything regarding the title, the entire, like all the things that are not inside the chart itself, just go to general. So general, you have title. So under your title, you have this sum of size as the text. So you can always change it here if you don't want. If you don't want what the computer has given to you. But let's just leave it like that. So we're trying to change the header background. So first of all, I'm going to increase my font size so it's big enough. Then I'm going to try to centralize it. This is where you centralize it, horizontal alignment. So I'm going to centralize it. Then there's something like background color under your title. When you scroll down, you see background color. So right now we don't have any color. This is no fill. So let's assume we want to add a background color. Just click on any color you want. Can you see that there's a difference now? Am I too fast?
No, no, we are with you. No.
Okay, thank you. So if you have your Powerbi, I can just follow me as I'm working on it. Then the next question says change the format of the size field so that it displays in millions of bytes. Who can do that? I think I mentioned that yesterday too. Who can tell me how to go about that? Where do I go to change? Do you understand the question? Change the size, the format of the size field. This is your size field. This, instead of showing billions, instead of showing this billion, I want it to show millions. Okay, I remember when we usually change that. Baba Wale, no, it's not that general. I told you that general is usually for like the title, like the property of the what's it called? So once you think of something related to the exact values that are inside your chart, just go to visual. Do you understand? Okay. Think about it. Where is sum of size? Which axis? So you go to your y-axis. When you click on your y-axis, then you go to the values. So the values on your y-axis, then when you scroll down, you see display units. So automatically it's displaying in billions, maybe because of the complexity of number. So now we are changing it to millions. So you click on millions, now you have it in millions. Do you understand? So the next question says copy the visualization to create a new visualization. So I think I didn't mention this yesterday. So when you want to copy your visualization, all you need to do is just Control C. Click inside your visualization, then Control C, like you normally copy in Word. Then I want to go to a new page to paste that. So Control V. So now after the second visualization, so it has two columns. So now you remove, we want to have just year of date created and size. So if you want to remove any, we have different visualization inside this particular one. We have year versus sum of size versus months. Do you understand? So now if you want to remove anything, just come here. In your x-axis, what we need here is just the year. So you X out this month, right? We only want year in the dates created and the size. So now you're going to X out your file extension as well. You don't want to have file extension, and you only need so now you only have in your X axis, you have the year, and the Y axis, you have sum of size. So now if you notice, those those icons for drill through and drill down, you don't have them anymore, because now we only have just one visualization, just sum of size versus year. So there's nothing like drill down, drill through. But if you add more columns, do you understand? That's when you have two visualizations in one. Then you now have to drill through. Does anybody understand?
Yes.
Okay. So that's that about the assignments. So for today's class, we're going to be moving to a new visualization, which is called matrices. I'm going to open a new page for that. So this is what we worked on yesterday, table. And I said table is usually used for like a quick summary. Take for example, you want to see your, so and it works in columns alone. It's going to show you exactly how it is here based on whatever you want. So now we just want to see, let's say you want to see the region name. I'm going back to this data, not the PACDS. I want to see the region name and just click on it. You click on the box. Then I also want to see sum of sales volume. I click on it. Did you see that? So it's going to give me the sum of sales volume for the total, like total sum of sales volume for Manchester, Greater Manchester. Unlike here you have South Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and this is the sales volume. Where's the sales volume? Yeah, this is the sales volume. So instead of having it in like on different rows, it calculates the entire sales volume for this particular region. Do you understand? That's what it does here. So it summarizes your data for you. So you have Greater Manchester, the total sales volume, the for Merseyside, the total sales volume. So also there's something I did mention yesterday. Now I want to also find the average price. I'm going to click on that. So here, let me collapse this. So here, there's something that you should take note of. By default, once you add your parameters, it automatically gives you the sum. Here we have sum of average price, and what I want to see here is the average price. So here, if you want to change your summarization, you click on this drop down arrow. Now you have sum, which is the default. You can find the average price. So here I'm changing it to average price because I want to find the average price of the average price, not the sum. We all know what average is mean, like adding everything together, then finding the central point. So that's average. So also I want to find, let's say I want to find the minimum average price here. So let's click on this same average price again. I can just drag it over. In case you can always drag it, you right click and drop it here. Do you understand? So now we're going to click on the drop down arrow and change it to minimum. So you can also find the maximum as well. So I'm still using the same average price, dragging it here and changing the summarization to maximum. So it's getting longer. So I'm going to. Okay, so where were you lost? Okay, so I said, okay. So I said for normally, like for the default, by default, your summarization is always going to be sum when you drag in your parameters inside this place. So if you want to change it from sum to any other summarization, you can just click on the drop down arrow here. So you have sum, average, minimum, maximum. You can even count. You can find standard deviation, variance, median. Do you understand? Yes, so that's what I'm trying. That was what I did. So then I the same parameter which I used was average price. Then I used average of average price. Then minimum of average price. Then maximum of average price. Do you understand? Thank you. So just in case you are still confused, you can use another parameter. We can use, let's say we are using flat price, for example. Just right click and drag it here. Automatically you have some, but then what we want right now is average flat price, for example. We want the average flat price for Greater Manchester, average flat price for Merseyside, and do you understand? Then you can also find the maximum flat price. So I'm going to change it to, no, let's find minimum first. So this is the minimum amount that they are paying for flat in Greater Manchester. Do you understand? Minimum for Merseyside, minimum for South Yorkshire. We can also find the maximum. Just drag it here and change it to maximum. So this is the maximum price that they are paying in Manchester, then Merseyside, South Yorkshire. Do you understand? So that's for your table. And the formatting, I think I mentioned that one yesterday, is the same thing. Just go to your format, then you can always change the font size, the let's change the font size. Let's increase it. That's too big. Yeah, so it's okay like this. Then the color headers, let's also increase that too. So that's that for table. So now if you want to show for this table, if you notice, the only option we have here is columns. anything you add, you just keep adding it to the side, to the side, to the side. But let's assume that you want to show multiple um you want to show multiple, how do I explain? You want to show multiple information, not just the sum of sales for Greater Manchester. You want to find this flat price, average of flat price, minimum of flat price. So let's take for example, just like your pivot table. Click outside your visualization, and this is your matrix. It's just beside table with some blue. So now you want to see. Let's assume that. So here you have rows, columns, you have values. So you have three fields to fill here. So let's assume that you want to see the region name, the sales volume yearly. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You want to see, instead of this sales volume, the total sales volume, you want to see how it has been distributed over the years. Because this particular um, number is for all the years. This is the sum of sales volume for Greater Manchester from 1995 to 1995 to 2015. Do you understand? So let's assume you want to see how it has been distributed over the years. You can use your matrix table. If you use a table, it's not going to show you that. But then you are going to be able to drill through, but you'll not be able to see it on one visualization. Do you understand? So now I'm going to add my region name. So I'm going to, this now depends on you. Rows and columns, you can either use, you can use either of the two, depending on how your visualization looks. Let's assume that we're putting our region name on the row, for example, then our year on the column field, and now our sales volume on the values. So note that your values are supposed to be numerical numbers. That's what we did yesterday as well. Your For your visualization, make sure that whenever you are using whenever you have values, it's always numbers that you can sum up. Do you understand? So if you notice these matrices, you can always scroll through and you notice that it is just too long. So you can actually decide to change where you put your year. Let's assume that we want to, so we're going to change where we put our year. We're going to put our year on the row. So now I'm going to drag my year to the row. I'm going to drag my region name to the column. So now I think it's better. It's better to scroll down than scroll to the side. Does anybody understand what I just did? Let me increase the font. Yeah. So does anybody understand what I just did? Or if you have a question, you are confused. You are confused from where? What? The entire visualization. Okay. So basically, if you notice this particular visualization, let me create another small table here to explain. I want to find the region name. I want to find the total sales volume for each region, right? Then I click on it. Let me increase the font size. So for this visualization, we have the total sales volume for each region. Do you understand? So this sales volume is for all the years. Like, let me go back to my table view. Let's assume that this is our region name. Let me change this to, I want to select only Greater Manchester, for example. So basically, if you notice, we have this region name against each date. Then we have our sales volume. So on each date, there are different sales volume, right? So assuming you want to find the total sales volume for your Greater Manchester alone, you notice that it span over a number of years. Do you understand? We have 1995, 1996, 2000 and 2001, up to 2015 or even 16. Do you understand? So this our table it summarizes everything from 2016 to 1995, and this is the total. Do you understand? Same thing for your region name. But then let's assume that instead of this, what I want to see is that here I want to see the total sales volume from 2000 the entire 2016 from here to here. The total sales volume. The total sales volume for 2016 alone. That's what we have here. Let me scroll down. 2016. Did you see that? You are trying to, instead of this, and you notice that the final value here, your total sales volume for Greater Manchester is 932,000, and that's what we have here. Did you notice that? The numbers you have here is the total number you have here, but we are just trying to find, like, we want to know how, like, we want to find the amount per year, like how this number and how this total volume was distributed over the years. Do you understand? Okay, so does anybody have any other question before I move on?
I actually understand what you're explaining now, but I'm having issue with something here. Like, let's assume I want to try to change the fonts, or I'm trying to change anything there. Can you just go over it?
The font, right? Okay, so you click inside your visualization. Make sure that you're inside your visualization. Click inside. Then you go to this your format pane. Let me collapse the entire category. So now for table and matrix, just go to values. Under values, you see font, so you can always increase it here. You can change your font here as well. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. So now, so now, if you want to, so now let me just quickly explain drill again, just in case you don't understand the other time. So here we are trying to see only for the years. What if we also want to see the months, the monthly distribution for all the Januaries, January 1995, January 1996 to 2016. You want to see the distribution for all the months. Inside this same visualization, in your rows, you can still add your months column. So here we're going to add our months. Who can tell me what just happened? Let me increase this font. The total, it doesn't matter. What it's added was, let me increase my font because you see some plus here. Let me increase the font size. Did you see that? You can see something like plus. When you click on this drop down, you notice January to November for each year, or January to December for each year. Did you see that? For 1995. So now you can see how it has been distributed. January, this is what we have. February, this is what we have. But this is the total. Do you understand? And now you can also see your drill down buttons. So here on this level, you can see the year versus the region name versus the sales volume, which is inside here, right? So if you want to see the next level, just click on this drill down. Click on this drill down button. Nothing happens. Then click on go to next level in hierarchy. So now you have for the month of January to December for all the years, this is the amount. This is the sales volume for each region. I don't know if anybody understands my point. If you don't, you understand.
So, sorry, is that January for each year or for each particular year?
January for all the years. If you are on this level where you can click on your plus, which is like if you are on this level is this particular level. Expand one down for all the levels. This is where you are. You can have January for 1995, which is this, and this is the total for all the region. Do you understand? So you can have
Yeah,
January for each year here on this level. So if you are going back and you are just trying to see only the year, this is the total sales volume for Greater Manchester for each year. But if you go back, if you now go to this level that shows only January to December, it's telling you that this is the sales volume for January 1995 plus 1996 plus 1997 up to 2016. This is the total amount that you have. Do you understand?
yes, I understand. Thank you.
So now that's that about drill through and drill down. So let's go to the next visualization, which is um, if you notice, we have stacked bar charts and we have 100% stacked bar charts and we have clustered bar charts. So there's a difference. Let me let me just copy one of these visual. Let's copy this. Let's go to a new page. I'm going to change this to the stacked bar chart. So for anything you do on bar chart and column chart, they are basically almost the same thing. Do you understand? So we used the same fields that we use in our matrix, which is the sales volume, the region name, and if you want to go down the next level, we have the monthly sales and also the yearly sales. Do you understand this graph? Or I should just create it from scratch. Let me create it from scratch so that I don't understand. I'm sure I understand. So now I'm using my stacked bar charts. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. So on my y-axis, I want to see the region name. And for my x-axis, I want to see the year. Remove field. Let me put the year on the x-axis and the month as well. Then for the x-axis, I'm going to put my region name. Oh, no comment. There's a problem here. If you are doing the wrong thing, you actually notice your table is not going to come out well. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. Region name. Then your sales volume. So so inside your x and y axis, I still want to see the year and the month. So now we are going to be able to drill through. The first level, I'm seeing the region name versus the sales volume, right? So if I want to go to the next level in hierarchy, I click on drill down, then I go to the next level. I'm going to be able to see the year versus the sales volume. From here, your y-axis, the first thing you're going to see is your region name versus the sales volume, right? Then next, you see your year versus the sales volume, then month versus the sales volume. However, however you arrange it here, that's how you see it. It is always against the sales volume because that's the only thing you have on your x-axis. Does anybody understand my point? That's another way to see drill down and drill through. So you have three different columns on your y-axis, which is the region name, the year, and the month. Do you understand? So if you want to see the month, you go down the next level. So you see monthly sales volume, monthly sales volume. So you have your month versus sales volume. If you go back, you're going to see your year versus sales volume. Then if you go back again, you're going to see your region versus sales volume. Am I communicating?
Yes.
What did you say? Okay, so let me reduce the size a bit. So now there's a difference between, like I said, there's a difference between your stacked column chart and your cluster column chart. So let's create a chart that shows this is your stack bar chart and this is your clustered bar chart. Let me just copy this and paste it here. So here, I want to add something to, there's another axis here. We have x-axis, y-axis, x-axis, then we have legend. We've not used legend at all. So assuming I want to have different colors for my region name, for example. So I can add my region name to the legend. So we notice that each we have different colors for each region. Do you understand? Let me drill through. So this is where I want to show you the difference between clustered column charts and stack bar charts. If you notice, this level we are seeing, who can tell me what we are seeing in this level? If you understand this true. I'm on the next level. The first level I was region name versus sales volume. So what where am I now?
Is that not dates level?
Yes, but yes, year versus sales volume, right? So if you notice, the legend now is showing me for Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, Tyne and whatever, like all the region is showing me in different colors, and it's showing me each sales volume. Let me, if I add legend to this stacked column, you see the difference. I'm going to add my region name to this as well. So now I'm going to go to the same level. You can tell me the difference. Now you have them on top of each other, but this you have them separately. That's the difference between a stacked bar chart and a clustered column chart. Sometimes this clustered column chart is better than stacked bar chart because it's going to show you individually how much you have for each particular region in this case. For this in this case, you can see clearly where like Greater Manchester is. We can see that the peak here, take for example, is around 60, let's say 63K or something. Do you understand? But from here, you will not be able to see the exact amount each region has because they are on top of each other. But then it shows that it shows the different region names. Does anybody understand my point? They're just basically on top of each other, but it's not showing the exact amount that we have. You're not really able to see the peak, but then for this cluster chart, you're able to see each region and the sales volume for each region. So in cases where you don't have so much, let's say you have just 3 dates, you're not showing the entire you're not showing from 2015 2000 to 1995. Let's say you just have 2015 to 2010, for example. Cluster column chart will be very will be very good to like it will be a very good option because it's not going to be this um it's not going to be this clustered. It's going to be very visual. Like, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there's also the one we call 100% stack bar chart. So I'm going to change this to 100% stack bar chart. So for this stack bar chart, you notice that everything is on 100%. Let me put it on focus mode so I can see it. You notice that everything is on 100%. You're not able to see any difference. So the thing is that this 100% stack bar chart is actually the least used chart. But then what it does is that it's it only shows you the percentage rather than the actual value. Let me go down to next hierarchy. So here, let me go back. Yeah. So I want to add the data labels so I can see what I'm trying to say. Let me go back to focus mode. I'm coming. Okay. Yeah. So it's not showing because it was really small. Just let me use this as an example. So here, mm, yeah. So here, you notice that I like I said everything is always on 100%, and what 100% stack bar chart does is that it shows you the percentage rather than the the exact amount. Do you understand? So here, the how to read this chart is basically that it's kind of tricky, but then how to read is just that from here, this blue is Greater Manchester, right? So for January, we have 24.66% increase, but then it's increased to 25.10, then reduced to 25.06. That's how you read it. You just keep checking on the increase and decrease in percentage, basically. So you can see that it was 24.66 here, and this is probably the peak, 25.10. Do you understand? For Greater Manchester, this is probably the peak. For let's go to West Yorkshire, or okay, Tyne and Wear, we have 9.61 increase, and we can see that this is probably the peak. 10.19 is the peak of increase. I don't know if you understand. If it's not very important, you don't have to use this chart if you don't understand the logic behind it. But then all it does is just check the decrease or increase in percentage. I don't know if anybody understands my point.
So, Ma, is that the chart for the
That
region
chart,
and state volume?
chart for what?
I say, is that for region and sales volume?
Yes, it's the same chart that we used here. I only
Okay,
changed to stack bar chart, and I went down to another level, which is just the year versus the sales volume. It's the
okay,
same
okay,
chart.
okay.
Okay. So I'm going to so going back to page one, I just want to use this page one to explain. I want to use this first page to explain editing interactions. So there's something we call edit interactions. Normally, if you notice, if you click into a chart and you mistakenly click into maybe one of the bars, you notice that it highlights that bar and everything on that page changes. If you click back on that chart, you notice that every other chart goes back to the way it has been. Has anybody noticed that? Just okay. That's because you're not using. I've not started working on it. So now, what I want to explain is edit interactions. So by default, we have it. We have these interactions as highlights. I'm coming. Okay, so this is supposed to be on the format pane. Yeah. So when you want to go navigate to your edit interaction, you click on one visualization, then click on your format pane. So you are going to be able to see this tab. Then you click on edit interactions. So once you click on that, you see that every chart here now has something like this and this, something like this. So take for example, this highlight is the default, like I mentioned. If you click on highlight, right, and you click on any visualization, you notice that I clicked on Greater Manchester here. It's going to highlight everything relating to Greater Manchester on all the visualization in this page. Here we have only Greater Manchester. Here we only have sum of average price for only Greater Manchester. Here sum of flat price for only Greater Manchester. If I click out, you notice the change in values. Did you see that? Yes. So that's for highlight. Then the next one beside it is what we call filter. It removes every other thing. Does not only highlight, it removes every other thing. So let me click on Greater Manchester, for example, once again. Look at this chart. You notice that everything relating to Greater Manchester every other thing that is not relating to Greater Manchester has been removed. Now we have only Greater Manchester in this visualization, and also here. Let me try that on another page, especially the pages that we have legends. Yeah, take for example. So here, let me go back to the first. Yeah, here. So all I need to go to is format, edit interactions. Now I see this. So I'm going to filter, and I'm going to click on, let's say, West Midlands, for example. Did you notice anything? Notice that everything on this page now shows only West Midlands. Do you understand? It's just like what happened in the first page as well. Can I come again? Okay. I said, but you understand, like you understand what I've been saying. Like on when you want to filter, it shows only what you clicked on, but highlights what you clicked on and shows information about whatever you've clicked on. So here, what I did was that I'm trying to filter using West Midlands. Let me just go back. I said you click on your visualization, go to format, then click edit interactions. So once you click on edit interaction, you see all these icons. So now I clicked on filter, right? And I want to pick, let's say, West Yorkshire. Okay, let me click on filter. Okay, this is for the other one. That's because my visualizations are very close to one another. Let me, yeah, so now said I want to filter. So you notice that I'm coming. Looks like I'm clicking on something else. Sorry, let me reduce this visualization so that I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so this is what I'm trying to click on. So once you click on this, this is even for this one. I'm so sorry. Okay. Format, edit interaction, then looks like something is wrong. It's only highlighting instead of filtering. Yeah. So now, did you see that? If you click on highlights, Baba Wale, are you still with me? Yeah, sorry for the breaking transmission. If you click on highlights and you click on any region, you notice that it only highlights that region in other visuals. But if you click on filter, it shows you only the region in that visualization. Do you understand? So that's what I did. You just go to format, edit interactions, then you see these three icons. We have filter, highlight, and none. None does nothing, but then for filter, it filters the visualization and shows only what you've clicked on. If I click on West Yorkshire, for example, let's say I click on this dine wears, you notice that your visualization only shows dine wears. Do you understand? You're welcome. So let me go back. So So now let's go to another visualization, line charts. So for these bar charts, these clustered bar charts, stacked bar charts, it's the same thing as clustered column chart and stacked column chart. It's just that stacked column chart is vertical, while this is horizontal. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. Control C, Control V. So I'm going to change this to start column chart. So you can see that it's the same thing basically. Let's add our legend. That's the only difference. Adding the legend. Can you see that it's basically the same thing with this one? It's just the it's just that this is vertical and the other one is horizontal. So now for line chart. Yesterday, Baba Wale, you gave us an example when we use line charts. Where do we use line charts? Can you remember? Let me help you. You only use line charts when you have when you want to show seasonality, you want to show the changes over a period of time. That's when you use line charts. So yesterday we created a simple line chart using um, sales volume per year, I think, and we're able to see the seasonality. We were able to see how it increases or decreases over the years. Do you understand? That's when you use line chart. And line chart and area charts, they are basically very closely related. Area charts would only like the only thing area charts does differently is that it shades the area of your line chart. Let's copy this and let me change this to area charts. Did you see that? The difference is just that you have the areas shaded and for line charts. But sometimes the shaded area does not necessarily mean the exact area of that chart. Take for example, if you change for this chart, the chart I used here, which is showing. I'm trying to show the year and month versus sales volume. That's why we have it drill. We have this drill down arrow. So if you want to check for the month, you can see we have the sales volume versus month. Why we have 6 lines is because we have this our region name in the legend. So it's trying to show us for each region the sales volume for each region per month. Is anybody with me? If you don't understand, please let me go back and explain again. Your network. Okay, let's create it all over again for ourselves. So I'm going to do that. Line charts. So what I want is I want to show the sales volume per year and month. The sales volume per year and month. Now I still want to see it. I want to see for each region. So I'm going to put my region in the legend axis. We have something that we call legend here. this field. So I'm going to be adding my legend. Something is wrong with our data, and that's because we our year and month is on the yeah. Hmm. Do you understand, Wale? Are you with me? So the first hierarchy you're going to see the year, and the next one you see what? The month. So here, what I was trying to sorry, what I was trying to explain was that this graph, it shows the sales volume per year for each region. That's why you have 6 lines. If you remove this legend, you notice that you only have one single line, which is it, like this one is basically just showing you the sales volume yearly. But then if you want to see for each month, that's the essence of this legend. Do you understand? So it's showing you for each region, this is the sales volume per year. So this first one is your Manchester, Greater Manchester. Then the next one is Merseyside. Then the next one is South Yorkshire. So why I said sometimes your area chart does not necessarily show you the exact area of your chart. For this one, for this simple one, you can see that okay, it shaded the area of the chart. But if you change this chart, this line chart to area chart, you notice that it just shades from one line to another. But in reality, the price for, let's take for example this Greater Manchester at its peak is 61,272. 61,272 is supposed to be shaded from top to bottom. Does anybody understand my point? Here, if you want to really find the area of this chart, it's supposed to be shaded from top to bottom, but then it's only shading from one line to another. So that's why I said sometimes area chart does not necessarily show you the exact area of the chart. Does everybody understand what I just said? Okay. If I remove the legend, it's only going to show us the sales volume for each year. Do you understand? But if I put the legend, it will show us sales volume for each year for each region. Just like that our matrices table is going to divide that for instead of for 1995 we have 138,000. So instead of giving us the entire 138,000, what it does is that it will show us how that 138,000 was distributed. But let me, if I had my region name now. So what basically we have here is that for 1995 we had 138,000, right? If you add this Greater Manchester, Merseyside, South Yorkshire, and like if you had these 6 regions together, you're supposed to get that 138,000. Are you with me? Yes, so for Greater Manchester, you have 33,000. If you add it with 166, 16,000 with 15,000, that's what it's going to give you. So it's just basically dividing it for each region, but it's still the same amount. So let's go to another visualization. The line and start column chart. We have line and star column chart, and we have line and cluster column chart. So it's going to basically be the same thing, but the only difference would be that one is stacked on top of each other and one is column, right? So let's say you want to find the distribution of you want to find the distribution and also the seasonality of a particular value. Take for example, let's assume that you want to find the how, what's it called, how your, let's use another, instead of sales volume all the time, let's use this 12% change in flat price. Let's say you want to know how 12% change in flat price varies with the year. Do you understand? I'm going to put my year on the x-axis as usual. I'm going to put my 12% change. The column axis where it's 12% change. But then I want to change this to average. How do I do it? I've already, Okay, okay. Shows, yes. You drag it there before it shows. Let me show you how I did that. I dragged it here. So now I want to change this to average. How do I do it? Some people have been inside this class. They've not been inside this class. Zainab, can you tell me how I'm going to change from sum of flat price to average flat price? Are you there? Does anybody know how to do that?
Yes, the drop down, we click it, so we change it to average.
Which drop down?
The one beside the sum of flats.
Okay, here. Thank
Yes.
you. So you're going to change it to average, right? So now we want to find that same sum, so I want to find the, let's say, let's use this semi detached 12% change as well. This is 1% change. So I'm going to use this for the line axis. But then I also want to find the average. If there's something about this combo chart, this combination chart, if one of your values, the one on our y-axis right now is average flat 12% change, right? But then if you notice my y-axis, I have some of semi-detached 12% monthly average. One is average and one is sum. You notice that we now have two calibration, one for the average and one for the sum, which does not make sense. So it does not really make sense for you to use sum in one and average in one in your combo chart, because you are going to be having two different calibration, and it will be confusing. You now know if this is 30 or 2000. So I'm going to be changing this to average as well. Yeah, so now I think it makes sense now. So here we can also decide that instead of just looking into the average flat price or average semi-detached flat price, I also want to see for each region. Just go to the column legend and drop your region there. There's a difference. Now, if it was cluster column chart, you are going to have the region separately. For stacked, you're going to be having your regions, I mean your region on top of each other. I think I've mentioned that one before. So all this visualization, just make sure that you know what you really need. That's basically that's basically about this visualization. Don't just add data, just add different columns. That does not make sense. Whatever you're trying to like, you have to be able to draw insights from your charts. Do you understand? Okay. No, no, I'm talking about the chart itself. I said I called it combo chart because no. This chart itself is showing on my x-axis, this axis, I have year, right? On my column axis, I'm trying to show the average flat 12% monthly change. And that is what I have on my column axis. It just tallies with my average semi-detached price. Do you understand? That's what I have on my line axis. If I don't use this, let's assume I'm using this terraced 12% chart. I notice that it's different from the former one. Not really, really like showing the exact. That one it just tallies with the way our chart has been before. But this one does not. See, you notice that this one has some curves here, and it's not exactly the way it reduces with the first one. Do you understand? Okay. So you can just use this kind of chart to um to compare this average flat price with with this terrace change in price. Do you understand? Okay, you can just see that okay for this average price, this is the amount we have for some of the reached price. Okay, so now we have some, like I mentioned, you're supposed to change it to average so that we can have a much more correct chart. So you can see that there's a difference between this peak and this peak. So this kind of chart, you can use it to explain that. So let me explain before going to the next one. Let me explain basic filtering. Let's use this page. So we've used this visualization pane and data pane, but then we've not used this filter pane. So basically, when you click on a particular visualization, you notice that you have filters on this visual. For this visualization, we have sales volume per region, right? So we have the region name and the sales volume. So assuming that you want to just see some particular region, not everything. So here you just click on the drop down. We have basic filtering, which is the default. We have advanced filtering and we have topping. Let's start with basic filtering, which is the default. This is showing all the region, right? But assuming I just want to see Greater Manchester and Tyne and Wear. So now I have just two of it on this visual. You can decide to, you can also decide that you want to view just one Just click on this require single selection and just pick any one you want. Maybe Tyne and Wear, West Midland. Do you understand? That's what this particular um, filter does. It's different from the one we did the other time, which whereby you click on one particular visual and it affects the other one. This one is filter on this visual, this particular visual alone. Every other thing on this page does not change. Did you see that? Every other thing on this visual does not change. Only that visual. Do you understand? Okay. So that's for so we have two types of filtering. We have for visual and for a page. This is visual level and this is we have visual this is visual level and we also have page level. So this is page level filtering on this page, and we also have for all pages. Assuming so for page level filtering, assuming you want to filter for this page based on let's say year. I'm going to use year. All you need to do is that on this page, I want to filter by year. I'm going to drag my year on this pane. Do you understand? Let me go back. I'm going to drag my year on this field. So here now we have the filter type. We have advanced filtering here and we have basic filtering. So assuming I want to use let's start with basic filtering. Let's say I only want to see 2000 1995, 1996 and 1997. Did you see changes in all the visual on the page? Yes. Let me add a table here, for example. Let me add a slicer that has this. I've not explained slicer, but then I just want to use it for this visual so that I can. Yeah, I just want you to be able to. I will still explain slicer, but then I just want you to be able to see what we are doing. So now I only selected. Let me select all. That's our normal visualization. You can see that we have all the years right here and everything is intact. So now if I decide to see just few years, let's say 2000, 2001, 1999. So you can see that everything on this page has changed. We only have the charts featuring only the year 2000, even if there is no year on that chart. Take for example this particular chart, we only have sales volume versus region name. There is no year. But you remember that this chart, we mentioned something that, let me increase it. We mentioned something that this chart is showing the total sales volume for Greater Manchester for all the years, if you remember. But even though it's not showing the year, the fact that I'm choosing to see only some particular year is only going to take, for example, in this case, only going to add the sales volume for 2000 and for 1999 and 2000 instead of all the years. If I select all, it's going to show me for everything. The amount here is 0.93. Like that's like 932 million, right? 32,000. Sorry. This is 932,000. But let me try to pick 1995 and 1996, for example. Did you see that? We have 71K. Is everybody with me? So even though there's no year pin, even though there's no year inside the chart, we still have year somehow, because the addition of everything is still going to be the addition of all the years. I don't know if you are with me.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to move this thing and speaking at the same time. So yeah, I said even though it does not feature the year, but these additions, these summations that we have here is for all the years. So once you start featuring out some years, it's going to start affecting your data, because like I mentioned before, normally if you have, when you create this visualization, is adding Greater Manchester for all the years, West Midland for all the years, West Yorkshire for all the years. So by the time you start filtering and saying that okay, you don't want to see everything, you want to see for only 1995, it's only going to give you data for 1995. Look at our sum of average price here. We only have, this is only featuring for 1995, the year 1995. Do you understand now? Okay. So that's for basic filtering. So here we also have advanced filtering here. So this advanced filtering is going to be showing you, is it less than, just click on this drop down arrow, you're going to find a lot of, is it less than, or is less than or equal to, is greater than. Let's assume you want to find any year that is greater than 2000, for example. So let me change this to greater than. So it's going to be showing you what, from 2001 to 2016, right? So after clicking on that, they're then going to click on apply filter. So from here, you can see that we have from 2001 to what? 2016. Are you with me? Same for all this visualization. It's going to be adding for 2001 to 2015. Same here, here as well. Here, look at this. Did you see that we have from 2001 to 2016? It has dropped 1995 to 2000. So that's for advanced filtering. So if you want to erase that, all you need to do is just X this out. So I've already mentioned filters on this visual and filters on this page. So you can also filter on all pages. Let me do that. Filtering on all pages. I'm going to use, let me see, another categorical column that we have here. Mostly, yeah, let me use area. I'm going to be using area filters on all pages. So for area, we have Midlands, North and Northwest. So let me add another visualization on another page. Let me X this one out. It does not make sense. So I want to add the visualization so that you can see the area as it changes. What can I add it there? Let me add it here. Let me add a card that shows the area. So anytime you add a card or like numbers that is going to add, it's just going to show you the first visual, the first, what's it called, the first category that you have, like me, if you notice, you have something like first area right here. Just like if you want to calculate, let's say it's average price you want to add now. Then take for example, you want to put average price. The default is sum, of which you can change here to anything you want. So the default for a categorical column for a card is first. Are you with me? If you want to a color, background. Okay, yeah, same thing. Anytime you want to change your, you want to format your visualization, you always have to just come here, click on this. You have your font. You can change your font here. You can change the color here. This is black, like the color of the font itself. Then if you want to change the, if you want to change the background color, go to general. We go to effects. Then you can change the background color to whatever you want. You see that? This is your format pane. Anytime you want to format, this is where you go. So you can either have visual level or general level. Do you understand? So like I was saying, the default for categorical column when you're using a card is going to show you the first. The last one here, we have Midlands, Northwest, and with Midlands, North and Northwest. If I change this to last, you see Northwest, right? If I change it to count, you have three. I'll be 100 and okay. It's going to count all the areas that you have where Midlands, Northwest, and North. If you change this to count distinct, it's going to give you three because we have just three um areas. We all know the difference between count and count distinct, right? We did it in SQL, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. So let me change this to first. I just want to use it to show you this basic filtering. So now let's go to page one. Whatever page you are, since this filtering is on all pages, you're going to be seeing this. So let's assume that I want to pick for only notes. Who can tell me why our visualization is like this? This first one, why is it like this? If you really understand what I've been explaining on this filtering, why is our first visualization showing only West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and Tyne and Wear, even though in our visualization we did not add the area column? Can anybody guess why?
Because we are filtering on all pages using area.
Yeah, but then I'm saying that why is it showing only West Yorkshire and not just reducing the, maybe reducing the number? Take for example, normally we had like nine 900. Okay, for Greater Manchester we had like 932,000 or something, but then it's not even showing me Greater Manchester at all, and other ones, it's only showing me these three. Why? Should I tell you why?
Is it the distinct or what?
No, 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 no. I'm trying to filter using only notes. I'm picking only notes. See, this is the table, this is the chart itself, showing all the regions, the six regions. and this is the value. Look at everything. Now I'm picking only north. I'm picking only north. I'm seeing just three regions.
Because these are the only three regions in the north.
Exactly. Thank you very much. That's what I want to understand, that those are the only three regions in the north. So that's why it's only showing us values in the north. And this visual is still showing us every year because we are not filtering on year, right? It's still showing us every year the sales volume for every year in West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and Tyne and Wear. But because the only three regions we have in the north are the West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and Tyne and Wear. You don't even have to go to your table. Automatically from here you can understand that that is what happened. So let me go to the page where I added my card so that I can see it has affected all these visualization, but you might not be able to see it because when I clicked on it, we were not on the page. Can you see that this has changed to north? What I had there was Midlands, right? Or Northwest, one of the two. Let me change this to Midlands. Can you see that the visualizations here also changed? Let me go back to only Midlands. So let me go back to that my first page where, yeah, so from here we can see that only West Midlands is in the Midlands. Let me change this to Northwest. So now we have only Greater Manchester and Merseyside. Let me go back to that visualization. All this has changed as well. You might not just see it. So you can see that now it has changed to Northwest, and your visualization has probably changed as well. So yeah, take a look at this as well. This is very beautiful. Now we can see that only Greater Manchester and Merseyside was shown because those are the only two regions in the Northwest. Is there any question? So before the end of the class, let me quickly rush through this one as well. I'm rushing through this one because it's simple, just like Excel. Text box. In your home tab, we have something that we call text box. This is where you can just write anything inside. You can write instructions. Let's say you want to say for more let me just pick my one. So I'm going to write for, let's just say you want to give an instruction for more information. Couple for more. Click here. Let me increase the size so I can see. Why is it so small?